Hey, Shalom, Shalom. This is your brother Quadar of GMS Gulf Coast, and I'd like to start by giving infinite honor, praise, and glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rekah Quadash. Double honors are given up to the elder apostles, as well as the elders, the bishops, the heads of camps of Great Millstone, and Great Millstone by and large. Shalom also goes out to the sincere Akim that go out and push this word with all true faith and sincerity, preaching and teaching 100% truth, as well as calling on the names Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. And last but not least, a shalom goes out to the men, women, and children who have come back to the obedience of the scriptures and are diligently seeking the Most High Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and they are calling on the names Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. To you all, shalom. Don't have a particular title. I'm just going to talk in the spirit, if I may. Lord willing, this be edifying. And I'm just going to really just go over some things, videos that I've been looking at here for the past few days, and the subject matter, prophecies, current events, prophecies, world events, current events, the news that is rolling out day in and day out, as we see it on the mainstream news platforms, as well as the alternative news platforms. You know what I'm saying? It's the same old cycle, pushing out the fulfillment of scriptures, for lack of better words. That's what we're seeing day in and day out, whether it be mainstream or alternative. We're watching them push out the fulfillment of the scriptures via Donald Trump and what's his name, Elon Musk, giving briefings, answering questions in the Oval Office, which that in itself is totally out the norm. I personally can't recall any time I've seen that. Not to say that that's never been done before, but here in the recent, I don't know, 4 or 5 different administrations, I personally can't recall seeing that. And Mr. Musk, he was not dressed formal, and what I mean by formal, suit, tie. And he had his little one in there with him. That was just, again, that's just the last time I recall seeing anything of that sort. And it wasn't in my lifetime, because that particular president, which was JFK, was long gone by the time I come around. But there are pictures and video of him having his children in the Oval Office. I don't know if it was official business or whatnot, but again, that's that what we witnessed here a few days back. That was just totally out the norm, but it did give you a window into who's, from my perspective, who may be really running that executive office. As you seen, Donald Trump was sitting there just, I guess like a piece of furniture for the, Elon stood there with his son. I think it was his youngest son, trying to fend off the questions of how him being head of the Treasury and getting rid of so many different budget cuts. Again, it was just something out of the norm. But, I want to say this here. That should, in itself, that scene that we seen that's really out of character for what we see with the Oval Office. I mean, in itself, it may come off as surprising, but the men of the Lord, beginning with the elder apostles, the elders, the bishops, the heads of camps of Great Millstone, and men such as myself, it's not so surprising. It's not, it's just, again, it's just out the norm. But in these latter days, we're going to see things that that seem to go off script, put it like that. Not to say that wasn't scripted, but that whole fiasco that wasn't according to the regular protocol that we're used to seeing whenever they light cameras actions in the Oval Office. But again, it gives credence to who's, in my book, this is just me speaking, who's actually in charge now. Mr. Musk, he is not, he's been granted access to, from what we have heard and the reportings, he's been granted access to super sensitive things, Social Security, the Treasury Department, and he happens to be a friend of China, so, and I'm allegedly say, he could be working as a double agent or triple agent. You never can tell. I mean, we're at the end of Esau's Edom reign, and so the things are going to seem to be unusual. We're going to see unusual settings and things being acted out from that Oval Office, I do believe, so it's going to be kind of out the norm. So they're not too particularly worried about what the public by and large thinks. It's obvious that that's the case because it's obvious that that's the case because this man was in the Oval Office with his child. Let me see, I had a clip here where it says, oops. This one particularly says, oops, Musk's son slips up, says what Elon really thinks. Let's check this out, shall we?
I think I'm going to start cutting carbs. I need to drop my belly fat.
Here's the most interesting weight loss fact I learned.
Like a loser and look powerless. It was as if Putin designed this meeting himself.
And this is one of those alternative news platforms I was speaking of. So like, and it reads, it says, oops, Musk's son slips up, says what Elon really thinks about Trump. For 3 hours ago, Keith Edwards. Let's see, what is this? Keith Edwards. Anyway. Yeah, and this is the around the dinner table talk when it comes to these podcasters, alternative news platforms and whatnot. They're really throwing shade at one another. Scalding and mocking one another when it comes to these so-called white folks. Especially the ones in high ups. It's getting real sloppy and messy. How they're actually running things. Again, it's simply because I believe that they can care less what the public by and large thinks. They're moving forward with the agenda, with the plans that they've been had gemmed up for decades, so it's gotten to the point where, if the people do make a move, they're going to have a solution for that. So, yeah, let's listen to them talk a little bit, shall we?
Yesterday, the world's richest man made Donald Trump, the president of the United States, look like a loser and look powerless. It was as if Putin designed this meeting himself. The leader of the free world has never looked more flaccid, for lack of a better word. And on top of it, Elon Musk's son, X, I don't know what his obsession of that name, Elon Musk's son, X, said two things to Donald Trump, look how pissed he is, that are stunning. Not because a kid would say something out of turn, because, as you know, children do not develop social cues until a little bit later in their development. But it was more that he is likely repeating things that he's heard his dad say. I just want to read this to you from my old boss, Steve Schmidt. He has a newsletter called The Warning. It's brilliant. I suggest signing up. And of that moment, he talks about, the incredible spectacle of it all. But my favorite part was when he said this: Elon Musk is not a king. Elon Musk is the world's richest man. But yesterday, the world's richest man stood over the Resolute desk and made the President of the United States look like either a puppet or a whore. Or maybe one of his baby mamas. Whatever your choice may be, there has never, ever been a moment of weakness in that office that was more pitiful. I agree. And the only person who should be addressing the American people from the Oval Office is the President of the United States. Certainly not this man with his lackey child. No. But I also think that there's more to this, because clearly Elon Musk has something on Trump that he's allowing this to happen. And the fact that the Trump administration is now likely going to buy SpaceX, by the way, have already been awarded.
I want to say this real quick. Elon Musk is not the richest man in the world. Again, I want to repeat. Elon Musk is not the richest man in the world. And if any of you all are, may contest that, there are people on this planet, families that are worth upwards of $500 trillion. Elon is roughly worth, I guess, 300 or 400 billion. So, that might be children of the super elite, the elite, that are just as rich, if not richer, than Elon Musk. So he's not the richest man. That's just a jacket they want to put on him to stop the Google search as looking for the richest people or the richest man. So they just label him that. Therefore, you have to look no further, And that's a ploy from the super elites. You know what I'm talking about? So he's not the richest man.
$230 million worth of contracts so far. Just so far in 20. Whatever that is. Tesla and SpaceX, by the way, $400 million. Elon Musk.
Now, check this out. Mr. Musk has cozied on in, and again, I personally say, this is what I say, allegedly. I feel as though Mr. Musk is Trump's handler, just like you have entertainers that have handlers, to keep them in place, to instruct them what to do, this, that, and the third, and they have to be, they have to be close, so I personally feel as though Mr. Musk is President Trump's handler. And in doing so, Trump has access to the Treasury. He has access to a lot of different things. And he's going to strengthen his companies, Tesla, this, that. They get all these government contracts and whatnot, one hand washes the other type of relationship, But in this particular relationship, I believe now, again, allegedly, I believe that Trump can do nothing about what is happening. He just has to be that political face there to satisfy the masses. That's it. The six-pack Joe White folks, the 9-to-5 banking white folks for the most part, and you delusional 2/3 so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans to give you some sense of inclusion, some sense of power, to put it out there as though you have a say-so. So that's Trump's part in all this, and also to stir up the masses, what I'm talking about, everybody pick a side, that type of madness. But in the meantime, between time, people like Elon, he has business ventures and partners, somebody, that goes into the trillions of dollars. You follow what I'm saying? Which pales in comparison to what Trump money pales in comparison to their money, So Elon and them are there to, because the infrastructure has already been laid out for them. they are there, him and in particular, because we see a lot of him. They are there to move forth with the second, third, fourth, or fifth phase of this of the NWO. And Mr. Elon is known for autonomous cars, electric vehicles, SpaceX, and here recently, robots and what it is, that Neuralink. So you can see where this is heading, the Revelations, the 13th chapter, the MOTB. It's not hard to see. And I didn't mean to rhyme. But let's get into it. Let's see if this gentleman can bag up anything I just said.
With his lackey child. No. But I also think that there's more to this, because clearly Elon Musk has something on Trump that he's allowing this to happen. And the fact that the Trump administration...
You don't necessarily have to have nothing on Trump. Let's go down memory lane, shall we? And Slacky for me jumping in and commentating like I am. But I think the background need to be laid a little bit here. We need to know a little background about Mr. Trump. Ain't gonna take too long. But Mr. Trump is a businessman, an entrepreneur. Not an entrepreneur. He has money that has been passed down, from his grandfather to his father. And they are real estate brokers, to my businessmen, for lack of better words. And when Donald J. Trump time had come into play for him to step up to the mantle, he's a grafted, greedy son who had set up the paperwork in such a way that he could have got all the money to himself and robbed his siblings. Now, he has that same dog-eat-dog mentality when it comes to business. He has went on a handful of business ventures throughout my lifetime where he has went and borrowed millions of dollars on a business adventure where he's building this building for this, Trump Plaza that, casino this, casino that. And every time that I can remember, he has flopped on that, reneged on that, filed bankruptcy on that, paid back a few dollars, and then filed bankruptcy. And that way, there lie in, he can keep the money. He made a lot of his money on business and ventures, whereas he reneged on the loan and filed bankruptcy. And if any of you knows how bankruptcy works, I've never filed it, but I've read into it a wee bit. So I'm not an expert by any shot. But before George W. Bush come into office, you can file bankruptcy and be sitting on your assets for about 7 years. Wipe your slate clean as concerning your credit, and you can start over. So and you didn't have to pay back what you owed for the most part. And so that's Trump's MO. Now, mind you, he had to go to banks for those loans. And who owned the banks? We watched the banks collapse during the George Bush administration. And they consolidated the banks. Matter of fact, they went online as monopolizing the monetary system worldwide. That's why you have BRICS now. They're trying to break that up. I'm not going to go deep into that, but the monetary system has been connected worldwide. The United States fails, so does all its allies and those who trade in the U.S. Dollar. So they monopolized the banks, and the big banks ate up the little banks, and the big banks borrow from the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, and also from the World Banks, And then when you get into those banks are privately owned. So it would be safe to say that Donald Trump owed some favors, because the privately owned banks that fund governments and wars and so forth and so on, that build, rebuild countries and whatnot, wouldn't you think that the same Mr. Donald Trump owed these people some favors? So it's not so much what Elon has over him. Trump has no choice in the matter. It's more like that type of relationship. We're going to put you in office, and in doing so, we're going to put Elon in there. He's going to be your handler. He's going to be our messenger boy. And this is all allegedly. And this is how it's going to work. So, I would say it's more or less that relationship than what he's saying. But let's let him play.
Because clearly, Elon Musk has something on Trump that he's allowing this to happen. And the fact that the Trump administration is now likely going to buy $400 million worth of armored Teslas. Whatever that is, Tesla and SpaceX, by the way, have already been awarded $230 million worth of contracts so far, just so far in 2025, on top of the billions they've had over the past several years. And
now, there's a big push to move from these gas-powered cars to these electric cars, these autonomously ran cars. These cars have a mind of their own, with a lack of better words. These artificially intelligent ran cars. There's a big push to upgrade the roads and bridges and whatnot with these sensors and things. You know what I'm talking about? SpaceX. There's going to be no need for you to be driving cars here in the near future, as I would imagine the super elite have it all planned out. All of these things are going to make it easier to track people, keep up with people, all of the above. I would even dare to think or imagine that, the implants that they're going to be forcing on the people here in the near future, very near future, Lord willing, are going to be able to operate the cars. Your car will have to identify with you in and everything that you deal with from a day-to-day basis, from going into your house to going to the job to going to the vending machine, to getting in your car to paying gas. All of these things will be controlled, you know what I'm saying? So it makes sense that they are moving from gas power to autonomous or AI technology as far as these cars and stuff concerned. They already was doing it with airplanes, autopilot. You don't take a rocket science to see. They already been dibbling and dabbling in this stuff for years, for decades now. So it only makes sense to that every aspect of your life would be, you would have to be tied into that, or you'd have to tethered into that. And Mr. What his name, Musk, he is just the catalyst to ride in on that,
And now it's being reported by Dropsite News that President Donald Trump's State Department, led by Marco Rubio, is expected to pay $400 million for some kind of armored Tesla vehicles. Isn't this the Department of Government Efficiency supposed to be making the government efficient? Aren't they supposed to be cutting fat and making it so the government is spending less, not more? It looks like the biggest beneficiary of cutting costs is Elon Musk, who's actually going to be making more money from more spending. And by the way, just so you know, they're cutting so much stuff, and they're getting all this money here. Here's where they're taking it from. Elon Musk is now proposing through the Republican Congress, which he owns, that Medicaid funding be cut by $880 billion.
And they're going to rob Peter to pay Paul. A lingo, a bit of a cliche that they say in the world, rob Peter to pay Paul. So they're going to essentially put more taxes and burdens on the public people, over $800 billion. Now that sounds like that close to that number of that bank bailout. If I'm not wrong, it was $870 billion. And guess who they got that from? You guessed it, the citizens. So you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know what I'm talking about? You have fallen into a fool system. Fools, not food, but fools system. Trusting in the society and trusting in these people to have your better interests at heart. You know, how many of you so-called black women, or Native American, or Latino women get Medicaid and Medicare? How many of you all get government assistance for for child care? You know, going to Head Start and these things there. You know what I'm saying? You getting the picture now? You know, you're going to start seeing your state by state, going to drop your Medicaid coverage. You know what I'm talking about? And you go to these hospitals, they're going to have the right to turn you around. You know what I'm talking about? Because a lot of these hospitals are privately ran anyway. I mean, government ran anyway. You know, these, what they call them, emergent cares and whatnot. You got to come in there with cash money to get your children looked after. You know, you put yourselves in a very peculiar position by investing in the society, man, and not trusting in the Lord. You know, I know it sounds like a broken record, but it is what it is. And you need to hear this, or the Lord wouldn't have put it in my spirit to say it. You know, all praises to the Most High Yahweh Yahushua. You need to hear this over and over and over again, like a stubborn, hard-headed child. You're going to learn this the easy way, you're going to hear it and take heed, or you're going to learn this the hard way, or you are going to be stiff-necked, pull away the shoulder. Matter of fact, let's grab one. Let's go to Slocky. Let's see which one it is. It's right 7 and 9, I think it is. Heart like flint. Let's see. This is Zechariah 7 and 11. It says, repress not the widow. It says, I'm going to just get to the point. This is Zechariah 7 and 11. And it reads, but they refuse to hearken. Yeah. Again, you know. And there's a lot of chitter-chatter on the internet, man. Still talking about Latinos for Trump, and the so-called black woman blaming the black man for Trump getting in office. You people sound crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? You sound like your elevator ain't going all the way up. Trump. I mean, of all people, I mean, you know, so-called white folks by and large, but Trump. You people out here arguing about, because you didn't do this, you didn't do that. He got to home base. Like y'all talking about a damn baseball game you playing in the backyard, and you're mad because you didn't cover your bases or whatnot. Zechariah 7 and 11, but they refuse to hearken because the men of the Lord have been out here, starting with the apostle elders and the elders, pushing his word, never deviating from the script, man. He was out there scoffing and coming up there talking about dumb junk, you know what I'm saying? Falsely accusing the elder apostles of this and that, you know, standing on things that may have not come to pass yet, you know what I'm talking about? See, they lying. I told you they were wrong, and these men have stood stiffly all this time, going on 40 years. Never deviate. Never let your ambiguity or your, what is that scripture is, let not the imagination or the incredulity of them, the non-believers, it didn't change the men of the Lord in no shape, form, or fashion. Zechariah 7 and 11. But they refused to hearken and pulled away the shoulder and stopped their ears, that they should not hear. Yea, they made their hearts, going into your mind, as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law and the words which the Lord Yahweh of hosts had sent in his spirit by the former prophets. See? Therefore came a great wrath from the Lord Yahweh of hosts. The Lord has sent out his servants to bring it to his people, to give you warning. Again, let's go to what's your name, where it says 16, what it is. Give them warning from me. Let me see. This is Ezekiel chapter 11. Jesus touched the spirit of and took me away in bitterness, and they came in captivity. This is Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 17, and it reads, it says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American. The Lord said he has made thee a watchman unto you. Now let's get that word watchman real quick in the blue letter. Refuse to listen, man, refuse.
Strong's H, 6822. Safar. Safar.
Strong's H, 6822.
Strong's H, 6822. Safar. Safar.
And this is going into that word watchman, and it reads, because the men of the Lord, the prophets, beginning with the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, the bishops, the heads of camps of Great Millstone, on down to men such as myself, as well as the sincere occupant that pushed 100% truth. The Lord have made thee watchmen. And it reads, outline of biblical use, to look out or about, keep watch, observe, watch, to keep watch, to watch closely. Because see, our people, they don't want to partake in, or let me put it like this, Israel, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American, you refuse to acknowledge the darkness that this world brings. You refuse to acknowledge the darkness, the wickedness that this world promotes. You refuse to. You just, you get used to it like a frog, like the elder apostle Kabar says, that stubborn frog, he sits in that water, and you can just slowly turn up the heat on it. And he'll slowly adjust, and you creep up the heat a little bit more. He'll adjust a little bit more. And you turn up the heat a little bit more, and he'll adjust a little bit more. And before you know it, it's at a boiling point, and that frog boils. That's you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. You refuse to acknowledge what all you see. You pretend as though that's not the case. You make excuses for the things that you know that are not wrong, that are wrong, slack you. You make excuses for those things, and thus you become that stubborn-ass frog, man, that get bored to death. And ultimately, that's what's going to happen to you. Make no doubt about it, whether you believe it or not. It reads right here, okay, Strong's definition for that watchman. It says, lean forward, to peer into the distance. To peer into the distance, by implication, to observe, await, behold, look up, well, wait for, keep the watchman. The Lord has made thee a watchman. Again, let's go on back and read it. It reads, Ezekiel 3 and 17, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. See that? And give them warning from me. And the me is the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua. Verse 18, when I say unto the wicked, and that's the ones that, let's go back real quick. Let's go back to Zechariah 7 and verse 11. But they refuse to hearken and pull away the shoulder and stop their ears, that they should not hear. They have made their hearts as adamant stone, lest they should hear the law, and the words of which the Lord Yahweh of hosts hath sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from the Lord Yahweh of hosts. So let's go back to it's like I'm feeling a little bad the last few days, but as the saying goes, the work must go on. So this back in Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 18, and it reads, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thy hand. So we're given a job to tell you these things, whether they sound like a broken record or not. Oh, here they come with that same, I'm so tired of hearing that. Hey, man, hey, again, you will be put to death, Salakia, unalive. But if we do not like we're commanded to do, then like the Lord said, he will require that at our hands. In other words, your unaliving will be on our hands if we've been given insight of what's really going on. We're required to warn you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Now, if you don't want to listen, like the Lord said, you will be unalived. Verse 19, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. So when you've been warned, and let's go back to Zechariah real quick. And you've been warned, Zechariah 7 and 11, but they refused to hearken, and pulled away the shoulder, and stopped their ears, that they should not hear. Yea, they made their ears as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law and the words which the Lord Yahweh of hosts hath sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from the Lord Yahweh of hosts. He said in the former prophets, as a scripture that said that the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So you're back here in your lot, doing the same thing you were doing in your lot in previous lives. So the spirit of the prophets are here. And it's very evident, who the Lord is dealing with, because the things that are being spoken are coming to pass. And to sit there and pretend or refuse to acknowledge it, it ain't gonna do nothing but hurt you in the end. It's just, that's just keeping it brutally honest. It's just gonna hurt you in the end. Because your non-belief, as it says in Romans 3 and 3, is not gonna change anything. It's not gonna change the outcome of your destiny. Now let's go back to Ezekiel 3 and 19. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, that's what we just read, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Again, when a righteous man doeth turn from his righteousness and committed iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die, because thou hast not given him warning. He shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he had done shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require thy hands. Again, it says, verse 20, when a righteous man doeth turn from his righteousness. Now let's get into the men of the Lord who've been calling to do this work, and then they drop the plow. They stop doing the work and whatnot. You feel what I'm saying? It says, again, when a righteous man doeth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, go right back into foolishness, or get worse or embedded in the foolishness that he came out of, he was called out of. You feel what I'm saying? And lay a stumbling block before him, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die because thou hast not given him warning. He shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he had done shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at thy hand. So all his quote unquote good works it'll be counted for nothing. You know, he did it all for nothing, just to be laid to death in the end, because he wasn't able to finish the course with all gladness and righteousness and sincerity of heart. He wasn't able. You know, he wasn't able. Anyway, I've been running this out a little lengthy here. I may do another part of this because I wanted to play more into this particular video, but I'm gonna close out with this one real quick. This is Jeremiah, Slakia, chapter 7. Let me see. This is Jeremiah chapter 7, I think it is. I think that's the right one. This is Jeremiah chapter 7 and verse 13, and it reads, And now because ye have done all these works, saith the Lord Yahweh, and I spake unto you, rising you up early and speaking, but ye heard not, and I called you, but ye answered not. Let's go into you 2/3 Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man, because the Lord is, again, he's reaching out to you, you know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I'm going to grab that real quick, and I'm going to finish out with this. Let's see. This is Isaiah 65 and verse 1. And the subtitle of this particular chapter is A Rebellious People. And it reads, I am sought of them that asked not for me. I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold me, unto a nation that was not called by my name. He was talking about the Lord, talking about us, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American, because in this captivity we're called everything but Yasha Allah, the Prince of the Power, Israel. We're called Negroes, Indians, and Spics, and you know, Mexicans, and you know, so forth and so on. We're called all of these, so we're not called by the name of the Lord. You feel what I'm saying? But the Lord said, here I am, here I am. 65, Isaiah 65 and 1. I am not sought of them that ask not. He said, I am sought of them that ask not for me. And you can also liken that to Romans 11 and 7, what that Israel desire, but the elect have found, roughly paraphrasing. Only the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, only 1/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are going to be found, or going to find the Lord. The rest of you are not going to get it. Matter of fact, real quick, I know I'm jumping, so I said it, let me grab it real quick. This is Romans 11 and 7, and it reads, it said, what then? Israel had not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election had obtained it, and the rest were blinded. So there you have it. Only 1/3, the elect, are going to find what they're actually seeking for. And the rest of you, you're going to be looking for handouts from the government, and they're going to be cutting your funding, and you're not going to be able to take care of your children because you trusted in the wrong power. So this is back in, which is not a power. That's this, you know, just lack of a better word. So this is Isaiah 65 and 1. It says, I am sought of them that ask not for me. I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold me, here I am, unto a nation that was not called by my name. I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good, after their own thoughts, a people that provoke me to anger continually to my face, that sacrifice in gardens and burneth incense upon altars of brick. So the Lord is extending that hand to you, but you refuse. You refuse. And this is what the Lord say to that. Now we're back in Jeremiah. Let's see, 7 and 13. And now because ye have done all these works, saith the Lord Yahweh, and I spake unto you, raising up you early, and speaking, but ye hear not, and I call you, but ye answer not. Verse 14, therefore will I do unto this house, which is called by my name, see that, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, wherein ye trust, and unto the place which I gave to you and to your fathers, as I have done in Shiloh. And it will come, and I will cast you out of my sight, as I have cast out all your brethren, even the whole seed of Ephraim. Therefore, this is the point. This is what the Lord said for the 1/3, about the 2/3. Therefore, pray not thou for this people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. See that? So, the Lord say, pray not for y'all, man. If you want to trust in this society, you're still looking, as Donald Trump has put that slogan out, "Make America Great Again." If you still want to live in an imaginary reality, hoping and wishing and praying and trusting in this society, trusting in this man, just trusting in the world by and large, man, and not seeking the Lord. The Lord said again, and I'm going to close it out, Jeremiah 17 and 16, therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. Lord willing, it was edifying. I'm going to close out by giving infinite honor, praise, and glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors are given up to the elder apostles, as well as the elders of Great Millstone. And with that, Shalom.